Well, Dr. Joe, thanks for taking the time to come into the podcast.
It's great to be here.
In a recent interview, you stated the future of work is about to be rewritten. What should employers know about that statement?
What employers are used to having for many decades was older workers and younger workers. But today, I want you to imagine the following. We are now living so long and have such a desire to continue to be engaged and productive and the like that we are no longer looking at just younger and older workers. We are looking at one, two, three, four plus generations under one workplace. And as a result of all those different generations with different needs, expectations, and experiences, we're now looking at a world where the management of companies and supervisors are going to have to learn the language, the incentives, and the different ways of engaging across the generations.
So, based on what you know about employers and the tools and resources that are out there, are we ready for that, or is this going to be a big challenge?
Well, there's certainly any number of jokes about what the millennials are and what they want. And those were the same jokes in many cases that we did for Gen X, those folks born between 1964 and 79. Certainly the baby boomers took their turn as well. I would argue from what I have seen and the research that we're doing that no, we are not ready. Those jokes may, in some cases, bring some information, but companies right now are desperate to better understand how do I incentivize and engage folks that are, shall we say, in their 20s and 30s, all the way through to ages that may be beyond age 70. Frankly, we're not even structurally ready as well. So, for instance, younger employees are very much interested in flexible workspace, flexible work times. What we're finding is that in our research, the millennials are often saying that this may be my work life, but it is not my life. Older workers at the furthest end are also interested in flexibility for a different reason. So, what we're finding is that employers have to realign three things. One, what are the incentives and the policies, if you will, that engage across the generations? Second, what are the different benefits that people are going to be looking for? Someone who's in their 20s and 30s that does not have any children and may not even have a partner is going to be looking for something very different than someone who's in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And third, not to dwell on this too much, but we also have to restructure the physical workspace as well. That the ergonomics of lighting and seating, and frankly, even working on the manufacturing floor, is very different for someone in their 20s as it is for someone in their 50s. And even for those of us that are office workers, we're finding that the generations are very different on how they like to use space. The idea of the office and the conference room for many generations is now becoming as our